All right, good morning. May the 2nd, 2024. It's day 2 of my 10-day trade consistency challenge. We had news at 8:30, so 7:30 Central. Didn't impact gold much. About done with the open range here. Let's see. For reference, the parameters or the rules, the trade plan is posted on the screen there. Yesterday was a 1 win, 1 loss day, 50%. We'll see how it goes today. So here, this is the account I'm using for this challenge. Started off fresh just for this purpose. The only real adjustment we made from yesterday is to change the trailing strategy. Yesterday we had the stop set to move to 10 ticks in profit once 15 ticks was reached. So it tapped 15 ticks without filling our order. So it moved the stop to 10. We came back out, got stopped out at 10, and then it continued through the target. So I'm adjusting that, or I have adjusted it so that once it hits that 10, it'll move the stop to break even. So that way it just doesn't, get right to our target and then reverse and stop us out for a loss. Would not want that to happen. All right, let's see where we're at. The range. Big range, 70 ticks. So we're just waiting here to see if It'll come up to our midline or not. Kind of hope this continues up because don't really like taking a short position here. We're delivering out of a 15-minute fair value gap up. So I think it's more likely we head higher. We'll see. We're going to take the trade as we have it designed. Which means if this candle forms completely on the top side of the range, we will kill this order. All right. No trade. So we have a crossover. It's only one candle of space, but it is space. Let's see where we go. We are in. Nothing to do now but wait. So the trade plan says we should move our stop below this candle. This is a big candle. Ooh, well, 27. It is big, especially for 5 contracts, but suppose that's what we have to do. So 5 contracts, that's $50 a tick. So at 20 ticks, we'll hit our loss limit loss limit for the day. So we will never get to that stop loss. 28. See how it plays out here. I'm going to take those arrows off the chart for now because kind of in the way. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Oh, nothing else to do but wait and watch. This one's definitely going to make us sweat it out. So if it's got like 2 more in it, just a little more. I think it came literally 1 away, right? I guess 2 because it has to push through by 1 in order to fill our order. Well, this might be it. Be unfortunate if this stops us out because this is a valid entry long right here. So if it breaks this candle, that would be another valid entry point. In fact, this I would think would be a better entry point than where we got in, just because the candles are smaller. We're coming from a more recent high. So hopefully it doesn't punish us and wick us out down here. Come on, come on. Well, that's it. Boom. That is unfortunate. All right, so let's diagnose. So we got in off of a 16 tick candle, which isn't bad. The one thing I see about this is that we had a crossover, but it was really only, we had one candle worth of space here, right? Which I've seen work before. So I don't think that's necessarily a, deal breaker. And look at this. So far, we've come one tick below this candle's wick here. So I want to watch how this plays out. actually. Yeah, I mean, I think that was a valid entry. We managed it based on the plan, and it just didn't work. So I don't really think that there's much more to say about it than that. Probably the only commentary there is because we are so heavily leveraged. But that's also part of the plan, right? So we knew that that was a possibility. One thing I will say is 15-minute fair value gaps seem to be very well respected in gold. And you got a 15-minute fair value gap right there. And you got a 15-minute fair value gap right here. So it's kind of in between these two. And on a 15-minute basis, we've not closed above or below either one. So even though we did wick up above it here on the 1-minute chart, the 15-minute chart closed and opened at 23.12. So right there. So as we read this going forward, because we hit our daily loss limit, so no more trades for today. But we'll see if this closes below this gap on a 15-minute basis. I would expect us to be more bearish, right? See, this is a wrap technically, right? We've closed. Oh, I guess that would be a reason to get out actually. Now that I look at it, because we closed below, closed above, closed back below. I don't have this as a valid entry based on, this current criteria, but this is an entry that works. Not as much as a clean like pull away retest, but since we are rejecting this 15-minute fair value gap, we came out wicked above it. Now we're pulling out of it. That could give you some added confidence. So that's interesting. All right, so that would have been a reason to get out of this trade. So I want to put those markers back on. Okay, so I am going to add a note for this because like yesterday we got out of a trade early because we had a full candle close on the bottom or on the opposite side of the range. So I'm going to watch for this, for this wrap scenario, right? A close on one side, a close on the other side, then a close immediately, back on the other side. And that would be a reason to close the trade early as well. So I'm going to add that to my notes in terms of trade management. I don't think that changes our strategy exactly, but fine tuning that trade management is part of it. And there we go at the bottom. Let's see when this 100% gets hit, because we know it will. The other thing I may do is adjust my break even. I may move to break even after 10 or 12. I mean, it's pretty, if you get an impulsive move like this and it doesn't continue, then the odds go down that, it will. We got to 14. Yeah, literally one tick away from hitting that 15. So that's a little rough. So we should probably tighten up our stop just to protect against protect against this happening. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Let's see. So profit target, we're going to move to break even at the normal candle range is, I don't know, 15 to 20. So half that'd be 10. 12. Yeah, I think that should give us enough room. The overnight open is way up there. So it doesn't look like that's going to be a factor today. Long, long ways away from where we're at. Excuse me. Oh, almost. Almost. I'm going to swing it this way so those numbers aren't in my way. Let's go. It's like we know it's going to touch. It's just being impatient. I think it's... Oh, there it goes. Tapped it. Go through it by one. There it is. All right, so there we go again. Yet another day hitting that 100% mark. Unfortunately, we were not. It faked us out before it moved there. It's going to be a short... and now it fell through, so we'll see. But it worked. So this time the crossover retest failed, but the wrap of the line wins. So this is what I see on the 15-minute chart. And this is one of those things I have a hard time kind of defining a rule around it. But we've got these two 15-minute fair value gaps, which I popped up over here. Oh, wow, we went all the way down to the 150. Once that fell, just fell through. And what I've seen a lot in gold is that first of all, these 15-minute fair value gaps are respected. But when they get wore out, then they fail. So in this one, we've got this higher gap here, which we wicked into on this candle. Well, let me go back to here. There we go. So this candle wicked up into it, first here, then here, then here, and then this candle sort of closed up in here, but it wasn't a very strong candle body, right? Just a lot of wicking between the two, really on these two candles. So before this big down candle forms, you know, I'm looking at this thinking, well, we have not violated this 15-minute fair value gap. In fact, we've wicked out of it every time we've been there, except for this small body candle. This fair value gap down below, though, it's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candle bodies open and or close inside of it. So this 15-minute fair value gap is, I'm going to call it worn out. And so just looking at this, I would expect the likelihood is this top one holds, at least in the short term, and this bottom one fails. That'd be my guess. Now, until it does that, we don't know for sure. So I guess in terms of trade entry rules, I mean, you could say, okay, I'm not going to take a trade into a 15-minute fair value gap at all. Challenge there is that would invalidate a lot of trades, because oftentimes you're taking, these fair value gaps exist and you're going to have to take trades into them. Unless you wait for your entry to line up on one side or the other, which, would dramatically reduce the number of kind of valid entries you'd run into. So, I would have to do some testing probably to see if there was a number, say, if we've had 2 or 3 15-minute candles close inside the gap, then basically we don't care about it anymore. I don't know what that number is or how you would quantify that necessarily, but that's definitely something that I've noticed. So I thought I'd point that out. And that should have given me cause to get out of this trade a little bit earlier than I did, because, we were rejecting this guy. We came back down below. We got a little hope, but we never got an entry long here, right? Remember, I said this would be an entry long off a break of a candle, but we never get a break of a candle, so we never would have been entered long if we'd have waited. And so all of those kind of play together to say, well, we're probably coming down. It's okay to get out early, right? There's no reason to wait for the stop to hit kind of at the worst possible place. So I think that's the lesson from today. Oh, here we go. So had an entry been made off of this kind of wrap of the midline here, the entry would have been right here. Down 150 ticks so far. And falling. These are the scenarios where it'd be fun to just be in it and just be waiting. Just move your stop between each of these little pullbacks, right? So you could have your stop placed, if you're trailing this, but behind this pullback, which is also the 50% line. So say there. So locked in 64. We did push down. We got this wick pullback. So let's move it to the 100%, so your stop's at 99. Even a little higher. 100. Locked in $1,000 a contract and just see where it goes. See where it goes. Who knows? All right, well, that's it for oil, or not for oil. That's it for gold today. So should I kill the live stream here, or should we move over to something else? I'm not understanding your entry. I thought once a candle formed on the other side of the midline, the order was canceled. We never Guess I don't understand the question there. We had we were entering long off of a cross of the midline because we'd come up. We had a full candle close on the top side of the midline. And then this candle tapped through the midline. So the entry was the break of this down close candle here. And then we chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped. We never got a candle close below the midline until this up close candle right here, which was also the candle that stopped us out. So that's the entry. Because really we're looking for this. Boom. Can't really see those lines very well probably, but boom, boom, boom. I mean, it's unfortunate if this candle right here, this up close candle that was the one that ticked us in, if this had been the entry candle, I would not have got in, because I don't have this defined in my rules, but the candle, it's a 28 tick candle. That's a big candle. So I would have waited for a smaller candle. I would have waited for an entry here, which we never would have got. And even if we didn't get in here, it would have been a no trade day. So gold tricked us in right here, but we followed the plan. So what can you say? Just for fun, let's see if we're trailing the pullbacks. Stop would be here. Stop would be here. I think you could put a stop. You can maybe move your stop up to here right now. Of course, it's getting far enough extended. It's probably going to get a little bit of a bigger pullback, even if it does move down more. So actually, at this point, I might even move my stop to there, just because, you know, we have a full candle close below there. It's a big move. All right. You know what? Just for fun, I'm going to move over to, I want to see what's going on in oil. Because we're at the overnight open. We broke out of the open range. We're retesting the top of the overnight open. All right, well, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in just a sec. All right, we got 5 minutes still open in NQ. Since I'm done trading my gold strategy, I might go to a different account and trade NQ here for a minute. See what happens once it opens. Man, gold is, or oil here is just back and forth. It's a nice gold line trade here. All right, I think just for funsies, we're going to switch over to NQ. It's too early to be done for the day, right? All right, let's see where we're at before the open here. Yeah, pretty big range in Asia, moved higher in London. See what we get. I think we're done with the news today, so that's good. So this is the news low. So we have these equal lows here, right? So these are We failed by what, 1 tick to hit that low there. And let's see. I'm done trading gold for the day, so I've moved over to NQ to just watch that. See what's going on here. Actually, let's do this while the open is doing its thing. Clear it out here. Actually, let's do this. My chart froze moving to the daily time frame. Too much to calculate. Apparently. Oh, it's all these opening ranges and okay. So we're inside a massive volume imbalance here on the daily. Interesting. All right, I want to see how we react at that level there. All right, this is really messy. Should be looking at my other chart, but we're inside this giant 4-hour fair value gap. Tap the 50% line. Kind of maybe coming off of it a little bit. Not really sure. Okay, so I think I'm definitely bearish today. So let's look for a reason to go short. Oops. Well, hopefully it pulls back and gives me an opportunity before we hit the overnight open down here. I don't know though, it's moving down very aggressively. In fact, it's moving down aggressively enough. I gotta give it a try with a single contract. See what happens when we hit that London low. I'm gonna give this one a lot of room. Since I got into it late based off of momentum, I wouldn't be surprised to see us pull back up into here for another drop. So give it a chance to do that. If we close above this, I would be out for sure. There we go. Break even. I almost sold another contract up here too. That would have been all right. All right, now we give it time. All right, well, that 15-minute range is formed in NQ. There's still plenty of liquidity lower, so still have a short bias, but no short fair value gaps to, or I guess no long fair value gaps to violate short yet, which is kind of what I'm looking for. Well, oil is just being kind of, it's just ranging here. Excuse me. Which makes it very difficult. I don't really see anything too interesting over there. All right, well, there's the drop we were kind of expecting. Fair value gap held nicely. So now looking forward for it to at least reach down to the overnight open, which is also the Asia low. So basically we start open the day and just ran up. We have a little bit of a gap, I think. Very small gap right here. So if we were to fill that gap, it'll look something like this. Man, every little 15-minute candle wick is being like, there's one there. So it tapped right below that and then reacted off of it. So every time we kind of break below one, there's this reaction. It's like a pause. I was a touch late hitting the button. I was looking for a. We wick back up in there again. I might sell another one. All right. Not going to get greedy this time. Just because it seems like every time we hit one of these levels, we pull back, drop, pull back, then drop. So that was pretty simple, just a buying a pullback or selling a pullback rather in this case, because we still had a liquidity level we'd not topped yet. So short scalp worked out for a couple $100. I'm glad I sold out. So we'll see what it does here. Last time we got this sort of 3 candle push down. We created 2 fair value gaps and we tapped up into the higher one before pulling back. Actually tapped up into it a couple of times. We'll see if we pull up into here. All right, so there was. All right, so now we're up $930. Last 2 days, like yesterday, NQ was working so well. I mean, it was like magic. I still think it's gonna hit that orange line, but I don't want to push my luck. So this was maybe a little. This is going with a trend, so I'm banking on the trend. This trend helping me out, but we pushed up. This candle tapped into this fair value gap and rejected. So that rejection covered with the fact that the following candle fell through this fair value gap that was created on the way back up. It's not a singular fair value gap, but we have this other one down here, obviously. So sell one there, it falls through. As soon as I violate this one, sell another one, and then just take my profits there and look, boom, it hit. So could have been a lot more. Wish every day could go like this, because these are just like really easy trades that work out well when momentum's in your favor. So we ended up with almost 20 points on the first contract. Could have been a little more if we'd have held. Look at that. Oof. Where's the bottom of that daily gap? I didn't mark that out, did I? Let's mark that one out just for fun. Or not the daily gap, sorry, but the volume imbalance. Yeah, so now we're down below that daily volume imbalance. Yesterday's low of day, that would be a nice sort of long-term target, is down here. We'll see. Take these away. We're just not really getting any any pullbacks that create fair value gaps. This was the first one that we got, which actually was the one that worked the best. So I guess patience pays. So I don't know, that might be all the trades I take since we hit our loss limit in our gold our gold challenge account today. One trade, and then up $900 or so in another account. Might keep that and call it a day. So it's going to be a short one today, but I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing. Get some extra rest. Tomorrow, Friday, I think there's more news tomorrow, so should get some movement and hopefully finish the week out strong. So trade safe, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.